Hello and welcome to the show. I am back on Car Mechanics Simulator. Today we're going for, well, in search of a new project car. I've got $10 million. I did the restoration for the Shelby off camera, so we have now got more than enough money to hopefully buy just about anything that turns up that will take our fancy. Nothing in that corner. Not looking like a good day for cars so far in this junkyard. Please be something. Oh, there's nothing at all. Cars? Are there any cars that might be restoration worthy? I mean, this thing here, possibly. What have you got? You've got two carb engine. You could probably get a decent amount of power out of one of those. Do we have anything around the? Oh, we have something definitely restoration worthy. We have a Mazda Cosmo. I think we're going to have to buy that. There are two cars. Well, that's a poor showing from the junkyard. I mean, how could we possibly pass up the charts? There we go. I can English. I'm so excited. My English is failing. Working on the restoration of a Mazda Cosmo. Does it really have? Oh wow, it has nothing in terms of the engine. Oh, sorry, never mind. Ignore me. The way that the rust is coloured on that, I thought that was part of the bodywork. Ooh. I should climb into the car. Sorry, there is a little bit of engine. Not a huge amount of engine in there, though. To be expected, really. I think the Cosmo is going to be our vehicle of choice. And then, hopefully, it's not massively powerful to begin with, but with some performance parts stuck into the mix, don't know how the rotary performance parts are going to go, we will be able to, get the car looking good and driving pretty fast. Well, here is our almost entirely rusty Cosmo. I don't think it helps that the car underneath whoa! The Cosmo does not want me to work on it. I think the entire car underneath this is orange, apart from the boot that is black. So it doesn't help with the rusted look. It does look, yeah, pretty bloody knackered. Let's go and, well, see what we have got in terms of engine. We will go and move the crane over to the car, get the engine out. I think the model for the Cosmo looks a bit large. Maybe it's just me. It kind of looks like it's a little bit stretched. It kind of maybe I'm wrong. I thought the Cosmos were supposed to be absolutely tiny, but there we go. Engine-wise, yeah, actually got a bit more to the engine than I expected. We will have to, of course, disconnect the drive shaft, take out the gearbox. As far as finding other bits to work with on this car. Actually, that might not be too bad for the running gear if I wanted to. Of course, the engine being a rotary, very specific to, well, the RX-3 and this Cosmo mod. So, yeah, we're unlikely to find too much in the way of parts for the rotary. I've actually had not a huge amount of luck in terms of finding rotary vehicles. RX-3s took me a long time before I ever came across one. So, can I take the engine? No, I can't win this up in the oh, I wondered if the game would let me get away with that. The answer is sadly no. Pull the engine out of there, stick the engine on this part here. Right, let's just go and have a look. Tuning shop. What do we have? So it'll be rotor B, I believe this engine would be. We can have not a huge amount in terms of performance parts. It's not, yeah, air filter. Air filter is literally the only performance bit that we can get on this. I think it's like fuel pump, I guess, we can potentially, that's another new word. I'm making all of the words up today. It's a shame we don't have, like, performance rotors and performance housings and so on, but there we go. I guess we can get, like, clutch and all of that. It's still not going to be a horrendously powerful engine going on here. Kind of generic parts like clutch and flywheel and all of that guff we would be able to get, but all of these parts, not so much. Right. Let's go. Oh, sorry, it'll be rotor A in this one. Rotor B is the... who knows? I guess we will find out. Engine. Take it apart. That was it. There's not very many bolts holding the rotary engines together. It's just sort of hopes and prayers of the owner. That's what keeps the engines together, apparently. Right, let's get the wheels off, see what we're working with underneath here at fairly common suspension setup. In fact, it's as I say, when I was working on the Daytona a few minutes ago, it looks like it's got a very, very short front suspension cross member area. That looks on the rather... Yeah, crossmember E looks tiny. There we go. Speaking of difficulties to find cars, I have got the Dodge DLC, and I still haven't seen one turn up yet. In my trips to the junkyard, I've had it for a little while, and still no sign of car. For whatever reason, finding some of these vehicles. The Jeeps, I came across the Jeeps, the Willys Jeep, like the first trip to the junkyard, having downloaded and installed the DLC or whatever. I found 2 or 3 of the Willys Jeeps around in there, which was great, so I could go and film and mess around with one of them. However, since then, I just haven't seen any. I haven't seen the new Jeep, like the modern Jeeps, the Cherokee and the Wrangler. Just I haven't had them appear. I guess they're perhaps less likely to be found in junkyards. However, I haven't even seen them come up as in jobs as of yet to show that. If one does happen to turn up as a job while I'm doing this, I will go and take a look around it, because yeah, I haven't actually seen one, but I'm not holding out a huge amount of hope, because just yeah, none have really been wanting to turn up. Right, let's get this bottom suspension arms off as well. As far as rebuilds go, this looks like it's not going to be a too bad one in terms of time consumption. Oh crap, I took the radiator, of course I do, from the engine bay. The front suspension is not the worst. I say it's not the worst. It's probably about as technical as front suspension gets on cars, but it's not really that bad. The rear suspension can have a lot of fiddly bits to it, essentially, with the more modern cars. We've just got leaf springs at the back here, which are the simplest of things to take off. We're probably not going to have many... I don't think we have many spares lying around from the various previous builds, because I haven't been doing donor car rebuilds for a little while. I've just not had the right vehicles in the right places, if you like, for donor cars. Not come across two. I did do a good job with the RX-3s of having not found one for a very long time, finding 2 at once almost. So, yeah, that tends to be the way that it goes for me, and my luck of finding bits. Although, yeah, not the case at the moment, because we had 2 Porsches as well back when I did those, and I found varying numbers of Aston Martins. It turns out the Aston Martins are quite common in the junkyards of this part of America. Although, to be fair, I found 2 Daytonas in the junkyards over this part, so there are 6 of them, and 2 of them have appeared in this. Yeah, if you start trying to think like that, it doesn't make a huge amount of sense, but it's good fun finding weird and wonderful stuff to go and work on. Oh, can't quite get that bloody... There we go, rubber bushing, get out. Thank you. Leaf springs, I've got the U-bolts, of course. Relatively shiny. These are probably the best condition parts on the entire car over there. 31%, look at that. That is impressive. The leaf spring was 33%. What's going on? Is that going to be... Okay, this hasn't actually been in too terrible a condition, a lot of the parts that I've been pulling off. I mean, they're not great. Not really going to be that usable. However, they are repairable. So that's always something. We take off front bumper. We can take off front end. Let's go and drop the car down. I guess we can get doors. We need to get the bonnet. We need to get the radiator, the battery, all of that kind of stuff out. So hood can come out, left side mirror. Don't think we had any glass. I wasn't really expecting us to. Oh, I didn't take out the exhaust because I'm an idiot. For some reason I thought I had. I don't know. Right, let's go work in here. Radiator, you can go away. Battery, you can go away. We do have a steering wheel. That's about it for the interior. Interior disassemble. Steering wheel. That one there will go. I use the RX-3 steering wheel. To be expected, really. It probably has RX-3 seats as well. Okay. Rear muffler, V8 one. Never mind. That's off. Okay, a lot of parts actually came out there in relatively decent condition. So it'll be good for repairability's sake. Let's go and move you over to lifter A. It is lifter A over in that corner. I'll remember eventually. We'll get the interior. Well, the interior detailing kit is more of an interior rust removal kit. So if we go fire this up, use on the Cosmo. There we go. Look, that's a brilliant colour to have any vehicle. But what you have For the interior, things on like the handbrake lever, things like on the door sills, depends on the car and depends on the mod. Sometimes they don't have kind of rust showing on the interior, but that's one way to see if you need to do the interior. I mean, it always will, just in terms of money. And there we go, frame and interior up to 100%. Oh, taillights. What about those? Come on, you can come out there. Okay, one taillight can come out there. Oh, and the headlights. That's the thing that we're missing. So we're missing that we haven't taken out. There we go. Right, so that should be the Cosmo. Should be the Cosmo completely stripped down. Just check through everything there. Indeed, we are. Okay, we shall start on the repairing process. I say repair. Do the repair bench and the spam click process to try and get as much fixed up as we can. So, it didn't have the best luck with repairing stuff, if I'm honest. Actually ended up breaking a fair old amount, and we don't have any of the engine ready to go at all. Great. Do we have... how much running gear stuff do we have? To be fair, not much of the engine was repairable. There was not the greatest amount there to begin with, and a lot of it was far too knackered. So, a little bit of a shame on that one, but there we go. Let's get these... really, everything is broken. Everything is broken at the front of this car. Let's see how much stuff we can put on here in a tie rod over that side, and that's going to be it, I think. That's it. Oh, we can get rubber bushings, of course. Let's not forget. Most importantly, let's not forget the rubber bushings. Yeah, the percentage chance, the luck was not with me in this one whatsoever. So there we go. That's all at the front done. Please tell me we got the rear. Damn. In terms of going through and putting in the bits that I had repaired in my inventory onto the car, not great. Okay, let's get out of there. We want to go to... I don't know, I was contemplating looking at the body tuning shop. It's not going to have anything because, of course, this is a mod vehicle. In fact, I completely forgot I had the Cosmo installed on the game. So there may be mod cars in the near future. There may be mod cars out at the moment that do have sort of custom tuning parts, their own sort of custom tuning parts. I'm sure I will take a look at them in the in the coming weeks. Not remembered, if you like, about the Cosmo being installed on my game. So happy accident that we stumbled across one of these. Do we have? Oh, wow, we're missing kind of quite a lot of, I say, almost like critical bits on this car to kind of progress with the rebuilds. At least we do have 2 sets of leaf springs. That's nice. Now, none of these suspension parts and whatnot, there's no performance bits that I can put on them. Sadly, we can't make a better handling vehicle. God damn, we are not doing well. Okay, so we need wheel hub 4s. We need 2 of those. Oh, we might as well buy that. And I think we need a U-bolt. So we need, wheel hub 4s here. We need 2 of those. Don't know what we need in terms of brakes, so let's get the wheel hubs on, and then I guess we will see where we stand with these brakes. Solid rear drive axle, that's good. Have we managed to repair the drum brakes? Nope. God damn it. Alright, drum wheel cylinder, we'll need 2 of those. I don't know what else we might need. I'm keeping fingers crossed that we might... Hey, we're going to have enough brake shoes. I'm not going to have enough brake drums, though. Right, 2 of those are going to be needed. Not sure in terms of profitability. Not sure the Cosmo is going to be the way to go necessarily. It is kind of, everything is skewed. Having worked on the Daytonas and worked on the Aston Martins and so on, in terms of profitability for some vehicles, your perception gets a little bit warped when those cars are making you 6 million when you've restored them. And this thing here, when it's done up, it's going to make me probably a decent little bit of profit, but it's not going to make me sort of 6 million. This thing over here is actually worth a decent amount. I would quite pleased with the amount that the Lux are there as well. Shall we have a look, see if one of the new Jeeps is going to turn up? No, there's only the Willys Jeep. Don't want any of these cars. Nope, don't care. That's one of the story missions. yeah, maybe if we're lucky enough, maybe if we're really lucky, a Jeep will turn up that we can work on. But there we go. Right, let's go get a steering knuckle. C is the one that we need for this car. We're going to need 2 of them. We'll see how much the rest of the front end is. We've got maybe enough to build. We've probably got enough to build up a side. That tends to be the way it goes when you're sort of pulling bits off of a car. Probably will have enough to do up a side. We have got, yeah, we've got vented disc, pads. We've got 2 sets of pads, which is not too bad. We've got 2 calipers, 1 cylinder, but again, could be worse. Do we have a wheel hub bearing? Yep, we've got one of the things, and a cap. We've got one of the things as well. Bottom suspension arm will be repairable. Also will be repairable. Well, it is repaired. Upper suspension arm is not, so we're going to need 2 of those. Upper suspension arm, we're going to need 2, and I can't remember the other stuff. We'll get back to that later. It is. Hold on, did I buy? Oh yeah, of course I bought 2. What am I on about? We need more rubber bushings. I thought there was 1 small one and 1 large one from there. Oh, game, are you going to let me get there? We are. Thank you. We haven't had to buy bushings for ages. Let's go buy a whole stack of these because we'll probably use them. Actually, I think the small rubber bushings are used on a different sort of suspension configuration, perhaps not in here. So that's going to be that corner. We're not quite done. Sway bar, end length. Right, yeah, that corner is done. This corner will need every bit, I think, bought separately pretty much. Outer tie rod we do have. We will have an upper suspension arm because we bought that one last. Did we get repaired the bottom? I now don't remember. No, so we will need bottom. We will need axle cover. Right, okay. Bottom suspension arm, as far as I know, I don't actually know what has the... what's it called? The second bottom suspension arm. I've never seen it appear on a car. So... it might be on the Dodges, possibly, because they have a fair few unique parts that we don't see elsewhere. But other than that, yeah, I don't know where else we might see it. Okay, so we need vented disc, we need sway bar, end link. Oh, I didn't see which one it was. That's not so helpful. Right, vented disc, we probably need pads. No, we were good for pads. We needed caliper, didn't we? The caliper cylinder, that one, I think. Right, vented disc we did need. Pads we had, perfect. Caliper we have, and that's there. Okay, we need bearing and cap as well, won't we? Bearing, wheel bearing, yes. Cap, yes, and then, I don't know why it really matters. I can just go and buy one of each because I got 10 million. Don't really care about a $20 part. It's just irrelevant, really. Wheel hubcap there. Sway bar end link. It is end link B. Okay. Right. Running gear wise, we've got to do shock absorbers. Front shock absorbers. We'll tear them apart. I'll probably do those. I'll probably do those and the tires off camera at some point. Let's go and check from battery. Of course, battery we need to go and put on charge. Oh, guys, the radiator was buggered as well. There's not been a huge amount of parts out of the Cosmo. I'll be honest, it's not been the most successful in terms of pulling bits out. Oh, let's go get a fuel pump from the tuning shop. We will try and get some power. It's only going to be a limited amount of power that I can possibly get out of it. Might get the ignition coil, that'll help it slightly. I guess we can get spark plugs, and there's a few generic parts that it will possibly get. Like we'll get, I think was it the rear muffler was the overhead valve, and the middle muffler would be those. The front exhaust section, I don't actually know what it would be on that. It might be a specific rotary one. We'll have to wait and see. Right, mount parts in there. I think I actually do have. Yeah, I do have a normal, typical. Do have a normal fuel pump hanging around from some. Oh, it was over that side. You would have thought by now, the amount of time that I've played this game, I would have remembered what side the various bits were on the on the cars. But no, how have I got so many rear exhausts? I guess maybe from me wanting to put upgraded sections into cars is possibly where some of those have come from. But I mean, the only thing that's been upgraded is the Cadillac over there, so far at least. So, to be fair though, it did have double exhaust, didn't it? So maybe some of those are borrowed. That would probably explain a fair bit. That would explain a fair bit. Right, intermediate housing. Oh no, wait. I guess there isn't. Oh, there isn't any housing. I think I checked at the start. There wasn't any housing. Yeah, there's just ignition wires and that sort of stuff. Right. Okay, back to the main shop. Rotor housings. We need intermediate rotor housing somewhere. Intermediate housing. There we go. Rotor A. Let's go see how. Did we save any of the engine bits? Are there any bits working? Damn. No, nothing that the entire engine is based upon has been saved here. Apparently, we have to buy new ones. Kind of a shame that we can't, or we don't have more powerful options for that. It was just rotor housing, wasn't it, that we were using? Should probably have seen. Oh, we haven't got any rotors either. That was basically a pointless engine. My initial kind of seeing it and thinking there was no engine in there might as well have been correct, because I think we've had one rotor housing from all of that has been worth saving, has been repairable. The other ones are all just garbage. We won't have the front or rear side housings. Rear side housing, yes, and then we will need a front side housing as well. Did it come with its own gearbox? I think it might have had a gearbox. That might be the only worthwhile bit of this entire bloody engine. The rest of it, yeah, we won't have. Okay, performance shop. Let's head over there. Tuning shop, because we can get a flywheel, we can get a pressure plate, we can get a clutch plate. I might even have a release bearing hanging around. So that's, again, some performance. Oh, I actually do have a flywheel hanging around. There's some performance to be gained from these. It's not going to be the most dramatic of improvements on this car. We're not going to be getting 700 or 800 horsepower out of the Cosmo, sadly. However, it might be enough to get, something decent. I say something decent. A little bit more in the way of power. Fuel filter, it's only 0.6%, but it's better than nothing. Again, spark plugs, could be 0.5%, if that. But again, I already have a fuel. Where did I get the extra fuel filter from? I don't actually know. So I must have bought one. I don't know why I'd have an extra one left over. Well, we have an extra performance fuel filter hanging about. I don't know even why I bothered checking. There will not be an oil filter. Oil filter, rotary, yes. Oil pan we'll need. So we'll get that. Don't know what we need in terms of timing gear. We'll have to check that in a second. Of course, I don't remember these engines well enough. It would be the third time I built a rotary, because I would have built the RX-7 and RX-3 at various points. Okay, oil filter. Now, intake manifold. Intake manifold, rotor B. We'll probably need rotor B. We'll get a better distributor rotor itself from the performance shop. We can get. Let's go. Oh no, I probably want rotor. God damn it. Damn it, thought I was being clever. We probably are going to want ignition wires. Yeah, so we can get distributor rotor. Yes, we'll want that. We'll want rotor B wires, I would assume. And I think it will be the circular air filter one. So we'll grab that. Intake manifold can go on there. No, there isn't a kind of option for a better one of those. Oh. We might maybe get that carburetor as a performance one. We'll have to wait and see. Sprocket down there. It's a little bit of a faff. Oh, a little bit of a faff going backwards and forwards between all of the different shops. Ooh, we'll probably need that arm at some point, so let's buy that. Air filter base. Let's get these while we're here. Crankshaft counterweight we'll probably need. Oh, we'll need that. It's the front exhaust section. God damn it, we're going to have the wonky what's it called? Wonky exhaust again, one being, you know, nice and shiny and the other one not being. Serpentine belts, rotor B. We're probably going to need some collection of these belts, but I'm just going to buy all of them because we're going to need a collection of them. Ooh, we needed a water pump there. Timing cover. I think that might be most of the bits that we need for now. I think we've got the counterweight. We'll figure it out in a second, really. Counterweight, yes. Timing chain, rotor A. Cover, rotor B. Doesn't make life easy sometimes, but there we go. Water pump in there. Ah, we can get the distributor bit itself as well. Should be performanceified. We need arm A, rotor A. I think I bought that one. Don't remember. Right. Don't even search in there. Go down in here. We want a distributor. That one, I think we bought the other bits. We'll very quickly find out if they're gonna... Okay, so that is just a generic one, but then we will need a rotor B cap. Okay, oh, we can get a performance alternator as well, because that's not something that is specific to the rotary. And I can't even remember what I was going into the main shop for now. This is a little bit of a more complicated build. Partly just because I don't necessarily know exactly what I'm doing with the engine, and partly because it's not the most well labelled. Right, so 2 idler rollers, what we need here. We're not doing too bad, in fact, for time. This is not really taking too long to restore the thing. We needed idler rollers. We needed power steer. Maybe the power steering pump will be in here, because there are some power steering pumps. Oh, it's only an i4 and a V8. Bugger. And we need a V6 one. Typical. Power steering pump. It was a V6B. Yeah, it was. And then it was... We'll go back for the other things in a second. It was the carburetor. Oh, we needed a crankshaft pulley as well. Typical. Yeah, it's a carburetor that's a funky carburetor over there. Sure. Power steering pump, V6B. Crankshaft pulley. We need... Oh, crankshaft pulley V8. Yes. We need some clips. We need 2 of these buggers. And the other thing... Oh, the carb that was... Was it an F or... Oh, God. It was overhead valve F. Okay. Let's go and check if there is one in here. Carburetor overhead valve F. Yes, there is. That's a 6% increase as well. Fantastic. Also, the ignition coil thing that I bought was pointless because it's a distributor on this car, but never mind. I guess we tried. It's kind of a shame that we can't have this filter cover go red to match the interior. Oh, again, don't want to go to rims. Match the interior, the performance parts. I know my English. Oh, there we go. Honestly, I am awake. It is a sensible time of day that I'm recording this and everything, but the English is just something that's not always really my strong suit. Engine. Are we done with you? Ah, crankshaft pulley. We need to do like belts and that sort of guff. Serpentine belts for that one, and serpentine belts for that one. And we need 2 roller A's. Then engine, we will be complete, I think. That one there is done. We need a fan. Okay, maybe not quite just yet. Fan, rotor, that one. Well, the Cosmo actually not too bad at all in terms of the rebuild time. Not too bad at all for that one. It's probably the quickest car I've ever chucked back together again, and that was even considering that it was missing half of the stuff from the engine as well. So let's go and grab all of this. Take engine from stand. Install the engine into there. And then we will go and stick gearbox and drive. We do need to do exhaust, don't we? We need to stick gearbox, drive shaft, and exhaust on there. Oh, piss, of course. Of course the gearbox was crap. But gearbox, rotor A, I would assume. In fact, let's just go for rotor, because I need to get the exhaust section. I would assume it would be the B one. Front exhaust section, rotor. Oh, we actually repaired it. Either we repaired it. Yeah, it must have been repaired. Did I pull one out? Because I didn't think I would have pulled one out of this. I must have done. I must have just not been paying attention, because I don't know where on earth I would have had one elsewhere. I've not worked on a rotary car for a very long time. We worked on a chain of i6s and then some V8s. And yeah, rotary car not been high up on the... Oh, God, don't go over there. On the list. Drive shaft. Oh, for God's sake. I had a stack of them around as well at one point. I thought I still did have a stack of them, but no, apparently not. I don't know what it is that I have a stack of repaired stuff in my inventory, but there we go. Right, drive shaft is in the car. The exhaust is in. The gearbox is in. Let's radiator. That's the last thing that we need to do. Drop the car down. I say the last thing. It's the last thing we're going to do today. Get the radiator in. We'll sort out suspension and tyres next time. Radiator C was not repaired because of course it wasn't. And then that is going to be it for today. Well, the Cosmo is coming along very, very nicely. We have got kind of bodywork bits to be doing to get it running. We've got some wheels, of course, to put on, a little bit of suspension, and then the Cosmo will be good for some testing. It's supposed to be 126 horsepower from a standard. We might have got it up to 150, 180. That's probably even being a bit kind. 150 is probably where we're looking at with the upgrades that we could put on the engine. It is a little bit limited. I also love how... Why is that I mean, I guess maybe there are wires going in. It just doesn't show why we've got extra... who knows? Either way, let's forget about that. The Cosmo is taking shape. The Cosmo is taking shape. It's probably not going to be the fastest vehicle I've ever built, but I'm hoping that it will turn out to be pretty entertaining nevertheless. That, though, is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.